Janet Gobert, Indigenous community leader, dedicated advocate strengthening Indigenous communities. Janet Gobert builds stronger communities by making sure people are cared for when they need it most. As Chief Executive Officer of the Bonnyville Friendship Center, Janet has spent years turning compassion into action and action into lasting change. Where others saw gaps in the system, she saw people who deserved safety, dignity, and support. Through advocacy, partnership building, and relentless determination, Janet helped create shelter and transitional housing for women and children fleeing violence, giving families protection, stability, and hope. Her work reaches across Indigenous and non-Indigenous communities, bringing partners together around safety, reconciliation, and human rights. Janet reminds us that leadership is not only about responding to crisis, it is about building systems of care before people are left with nowhere else to turn, a safer place to land, a stronger community to lean on, and more people knowing they do not have to face hardship alone. Jane Matheson, social work educator and advocate, championing children, families, and community care. Dr. Jane Matheson helped change the future of children's mental health care in Alberta. A social worker, educator, and leader, Jane spent decades supporting young people and families through some of life's hardest moments with compassion, dignity, and care. At Woods Homes, she helped establish a dedicated research department and a University of Calgary research chair in children's mental health, helping shape better care for children, youth, and families across the province. Jane's leadership reaches into classrooms, into clinical practice, and beyond to national standards. Today, semi-retired, she still mentors and teaches the next generation of social workers and community leaders. Her work reminds us that healing begins when children feel seen, supported, and safe. More care, more understanding, and more hope for families when they need it most. Cheryl Prue, Executive Director, Adoption Options, compassionate leader supporting families through adoption. Cheryl Prue has helped change the story of adoption in Alberta with compassion, courage, and a deep belief that every child deserves to begin life with dignity. A recipient of both the Queen Elizabeth II Platinum Jubilee Medal and the King Charles III Coronation Medal, Cheryl has spent more than 2 decades supporting birth parents, adoptive families, and children through some of life's most emotional decisions. Her connection to the work is deeply personal. Cheryl first came to Adoption Options as a young woman facing an unplanned pregnancy. Years later, she returned as a social worker and eventually became Executive Director of Alberta's oldest and largest open adoption agency. Through lived experience and extraordinary compassion, Cheryl helped move adoption away from shame and secrecy and toward openness, support, and lifelong connection. Her work reminds us that the most powerful change often begins with compassion, with being seen, with being supported, and with giving every child the chance to begin their story surrounded by care. Gersheren Tind, community leader and cultural advocate, empowering women through culture and connection. Gersheren Tind has spent years challenging one powerful idea: what will people say? After immigrating from Punjab, India to Calgary, Gersheren saw how language barriers, stigma, silence, and fear kept many South Asian women from speaking openly about domestic violence and family conflict. So she spoke first. She wrote books. She translated resources. She spoke on ethnic radio and television. In 2016, she founded the Calgary Women Cultural Association, creating a space where women could connect, find support, and raise their voices without shame. Through her annual What Will People Say community event and years of grassroots advocacy, Gersheren has helped turn once taboo conversations into public dialogue. Her work reminds us that courage often begins with someone willing to say the hard thing out loud.